Hello everyone, I am Gamini, real estate advisor. Today I am going to discuss a very important topic. It's a timely topic, and most of the people may want to hear more about that. I think many people are asking a lot of questions about this subject, and it's a cash flow. I think some may think that I have a negative cash flow. Some may think that I have a positive cash flow. So how do you know that? How can you identify whether you have a positive cash flow, negative cash flow, right? So I think today I'm going to bring an expert for the subject, and he has a decade of experience, and he will definitely share with you a lot of knowledge and wisdom with you. I think I'm going to drill down with him, and I'll ask questions on behalf of you. Definitely, he will add value to your personal finance knowledge. Okay, so without further ado, let me introduce today's guest, and his name is Omar Stevenson.
Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you,
Yes.
Gamani. Thank you so much for that absolutely amazing introduction. And I'm honored to be able to share this platform with you today. Thank you so much.
Yes, I think Omar is not the. I mean, he came to us many times for discussions. I think he's a wonderful person, sharing, caring person. And Omar, and there may be a new guest here, people who are listening to this. And can you share a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely, Gamani. Thank you so much. First thing first, I want to commend you on what you're doing and bringing value to your audience. A little bit about myself. My name is Omar Stevenson, and I am a licensed financial professional. And as you mentioned, I have close to a decade of experience in the financial industry. And one of the things that I love about what we do is we bring valuable information to our community. So it's just something on my heart to just want to share and give back to make sure more people get access to valuable resources.
Yes, I think it's amazing what you are doing. I think most of the people are struggling mainly because of lack of knowledge, right? So I think that's why I think a person like you is helping a lot of average folks out there. Now I'll ask you, uh, since we are talking about the cash flow today, so what is how what's the cash flow, and how can someone understand about cash flow?
Well, it's a great question. Thank you. Well, the way I'm going to explain this is a cash flow is, everybody knows that you work and you earn income. So, what a cash flow is the difference between your income and the expenses that you pay from that income. So, let's say, Gamani, you earn about $5,000 in the month you take home. Now, from that $5,000, let's say you spend about 4,500. So if you take 4,500 from the 5,000, then the $500 is what's considered to be your cash flow. So cash flow is just the difference between the income that you take home and the money that you spend from that income. So I heard you said earlier that, what if I spend 5,100? Then most likely I have a negative cash flow. And if I spend less than 5,000, then I would have a positive cash flow. So that's where you want to understand it, that cash flow is just the difference between the income that you take home and the money and the expenses that you pay from that income.
Great, great explanation. I think you explain so nicely anybody can understand what is cash flow means. And other things are a little tight these days for many people. And how can they increase their cash flow if they are struggling right now? There any suggestions?
Yes. So if we understand that cash flow is just the difference between the income that we take home and the expenses that we spend from that income, there's two things you can do to increase your cash flow. The first thing you can do is maybe you could spend less, and if you spend less, then you increase your cash flow. Another thing you can do is you could look to earn more income. And when you earn more income and you still pay and you still spend the same amount, that way now you increase your cash flow. And once you understand that, then you could start looking to see which option you want to look at to help you increase your cash flow, whether you want to spend less or you want to earn some more.
Good answer. And when they have more income, they have to pay more tax, right? Yes.
There's no free lunch, Gamani.
And what is the difference between cash flow and income?
Yeah.
Some-
So the difference between cash flow and income, I'll explain this way. See, income is what you work and you earn. Cash flow is more like a lifestyle. So for example, let's say if you have a good amount of cash flow,
Mhm,
over time, Gamani, that cash flow could help you maybe go on more vacations. That
mhm,
cash flow could help you maybe upgrade some appliances in your house. It might be able to help you, renovate your place, maybe buy a new barbecue.
mhm.
So the difference between income and cash flow is income is what you earn, cash flow is what your lifestyle is like.
Cash flow is your lifestyle. Yes. So income is.
Income. If cash flow is your if income is your if cash flow is your lifestyle,
Mhm.
then income is just what you earn to be able to just have just to survive, I would say.
Right, right. So you properly explain what is the cash flow means. Now, if someone is confused and they want to take some direction and they don't know what to do, right? So can you uh, guide them and let them know what they can do initially?
Yes. So when you look at cash flow, Gamani, and we now understand a way to increase it. The first thing you wanted to do is you want to understand what is your expense. You want to understand how much you're spending from your income. So you want to look at something called an expense report. And an expense report is going to help you understand how much you're spending per month or even per month. And then once you understand the amount that you're spending, you already know how much you're earning. So
Mhm.
you once you understand how much you're spending, then you could start making some decisions. But it starts with getting income report, an expense report, and once you have that expense report, you now start understanding which path you want to take. Do you want to take the path to lower down some of your expenses, or do you want to take the path of increasing more of your income? And the first step is awareness. Is
Mhm.
just to be aware of what your expense report is like. Know that number. If you understand that number, because you already know your income number. Once you understand your expense number, now you know what your decisions could be. If you're a family, you could do it together as a couple, and now you could make educated decision, and you could decide which path is the best path for you.
Right. So when you're analyzing your clients, so have you seen that people are doing monthly expenses, recurrent expenses without knowing what they are spending for? Have you seen?
I've seen it quite often, Gamani. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing less people that have an expense report that knows how much they're spending on a month-to-month basis. So, majority of people they never really got around. No one ever really sat down and taught them how they could put together an expense report to understand where their money is going, how they're spending their money. And once you do an expense report, then you start understanding a little bit more. And that's one of the things, Gamani, that attracted me originally to this industry, is that a person like yourself, would have sat down with me, and the first thing you would have done with me is says, okay, Omar, I want you to understand where you are, get clear with where you are. And the first thing you will do with me is an expense report to let me understand what's my expense report. I already know my income. And then you could show me what my cash flow is. And then you could explain to me, hey, oh, my cash flow is lifestyle. How do you want to increase your lifestyle? Yes, let's increase your cash flow.
Wow, man. So great explanation. Now see that people are going to bank. So they're going to their bank and make their advisor like they go a couple of times a year. And why they don't sit with them and give them that kind of knowledge, or they don't create a cash flow statement with them? It's not happening, right? Why is that?
That's a great question. I have experience with the bank. I live in this country. I came here, Gamani. I came here when I was 17, so I wasn't an adult yet. So I began my adult life here in Canada. At 18, I got my first bank account,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure why. Maybe because the bank mandate is just to deposit and keep our money safe, right?
Right.
But I'm not sure why the banks doesn't do an expense report for families. But good news, we have professionals like yourself, like myself, that sit down with families, and the first thing we look at is that expense report and make
Mhm.
sure that they understand what their cash flow is, and
Mhm.
then they could make the correct decisions moving
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of people need that kind of advice. So I think you are doing an amazing job, Amar. Now, Amar, so now these days things are very expensive, right? And even someone understand the cash flow now, they might think, hey, everything is getting expensive. And what do you want to say about things getting expensive because the inflation and all? So what do you want to say about that?
Well, it's expensive. Well, I don't want to sound too, I don't want to. Let me talk regular language. Expensive, you'd have to take the word expense from it, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
know that the cash flow is just the expense minus the income. So things are getting expensive. So what that's affecting, it's affecting your expense column, your expenses. So when things start getting expenses, the reason why they're getting expensive is because we might be in an inflationary period. And as we
Mm-hmm.
could see over the last year or two, inflation had jumped up from 2% to 7%. So when you see things jump up that high, and in some cases it's jumping even higher, then we see the cause of why things are expensive. And when things get expensive, guess what it does, Gamani? It lowers down your cash flow, because now your expenses go up. And if your income stays the exact same way, then it actually is lowering down your lifestyle, because your cash flow is your lifestyle. So
Right.
what's causing things to get so expensive is we're just in an inflationary time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And
we're hoping that inflation comes back down to a normal level. And once it comes down to a normal level, then cash flow could start going back up, and lifestyle could start going back up as well.
I think say uh, if somebody has the expense sheet and they can take educated decisions, right? That's why very important to have expense sheets. So because if they're in a tight situation, and they can do a lot of adjustment for that period, right? I mean,
They
that's why.
can. When you look at your expense sheet, you could start seeing the things that are maybe too expensive. Maybe one of the things you could do is when you're shopping, instead of eating out so often, you might want to start cooking. You know,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, there's a lot of little things that you can do. And what I actually do is I looked over 25 different ways of looking at your expense report and see
Mhm.
what we could adjust to increase your cash flow.
Wow. So so it's like you're like a money doctor.
It's kind of it's kind of like that, right? We look at your diagnosis, and we give you 25 different tips and which one you want to use to lower down your expenses and increase your cash flow. I like that one,
It's-
money.
yeah, yeah, that's true, man. So when you analyze the situation, then you can give a lot of advice, right? I mean, that's true. So if somebody want to know their options, and if they want to know where they can begin, right? So what is your advice for them?
Well, the first place, if you want to know your options, the first place you want to begin is you want to begin with that expense report. You want
Mhm.
to begin with understanding your income minus your expenses. That's all of the spending that you're doing. Now, once you understand that and you see your cash flow, you now know that you have two roads to go down. You could go down the first road, which is spend less. It's a
Mhm.
pretty rocky road, you know. It's a little bit tight, and not a lot of people want to take that road. It's a little bit dark, right?
Right.
Everybody kind of want to take the road of increasing your income.
Right.
So one of the things you could do is, what are your options? Your options is either spending less
Mhm.
or earning more.
Right.
And so what you could do is, you could reach out to a person like yourself, Gamani. I'm
Mhm.
sure you help families either find ways to increase their income. They
Mhm.
could reach out to me as well. I help families find ways to increase their income, and we help them and guide them and show them what they need to do in
Mhm.
order to start, you know, in order to begin that journey. So the first place you begin is awareness, understanding where you are. Get clear on where you're at.
Mhm.
Understand what's happening. The second thing is you want to start looking on improvement.
Mhm.
What can you improve? Can you improve your spending? Can you lower down your expenses? Or can you improve your income? And once you understand the improvement, the next step then is implement. If
Right.
the if you want to implement lower down your spending, or if you want to implement increasing your income, you implement it. And there's many ways to do both, and we help families understand how to do both of those things. So if somebody wants to know where to start, what's their option, they could always reach out to me.
Mhm.
I provide a free complimentary analysis, a complimentary expense report, and then I look over which path is the path that you would like to take, and we'll help you implement the best solutions to take to go down that path. So we want people to increase their cash flow, we want people to increase their lifestyle, and we want people to live a pretty decent lifestyle here.
Amazing, amazing. Amas, you share a lot of information with the people, and if they want to contact you, what is the best way?
The best way to contact me is, there's my phone number. I'm not sure if it's here. Maybe you could post my phone number. They could send me a quick text. I'm
Mhm.
always available in text. They could give me a quick call, or if they want, they could always follow me in social media. They could just search my name in Google, Omar Stevenson. I'll show up there, and the journey begins. Right? The first thing is we analyze where they are, and then we start the journey together. They could reach me on my cell phone. Is the best way of getting in contact with me. They could text me or give me a quick call.
Yes, I think yes, they can see your phone number. I think 647-638-8116.
That's correct.
Yes. So I thank you, Omar. I think really appreciate that spending your time with my audience, and at the same time you share a lot of valuable information and knowledge. I know people are going to bank and get the advice. I don't think they are getting this much of valuable knowledge in this. Only we spend about 20 minutes, but you share a lot of wisdom with people. I think I know that people are struggling because lack of knowledge and guidance, because they cannot see themselves objectively. That's why somebody has to coach them, guide them, and show them the right path. And what you're doing is amazing. And if I call you for another session in the future, are you able to come and share your knowledge and wisdom?
What you're, I have to, like I said, I have to commend you, Kamani. What you're doing with your audience, this value that you're bringing to them, I think it's amazing. I think the fact that you took time out of your day to bring valuable information to your audience, I would say it's nothing but a true blessing. And I would say anytime you need any information, you need me again, consider it done. I would love to come and share more of my knowledge. Like you said, I went and did all the work. I did all the education. I educated and armed myself. So that way it's less lifting for the people that we're helping. So I have to say thank you for your platform. Thank you for what you're doing to your audience. And I appreciate you for inviting me. And I welcome any invitation again in the future. And I just hope that this information got to someone that needed to learn to hear this information, and got to someone that needed to understand what's going on. Maybe they're a little bit stressed out, and they didn't know where to turn. And what you're doing, Gamani, is you might have turned a light on for someone, and now they have resources that they could reach out to get things going for them. So thank you so much for what you're doing. You're doing something amazing.
Thank you very much, Omar. Really appreciate, and I will contact you again near future so you can share another topic with the audience. Thank you very much, Omar.
Thank you, my
Thank you.
friend. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this is a very important topic. Understand the cash flow. I think once you understand your cash flow, and if you know your expenses, and if someone is helping you to create expense report, and that will give you a lot of understanding, so that you can take uh, 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 educated decisions, right? If you have a negative cash flow, you can see where you can uh, adjust your expenses, as well as then you can think about how you can increase income, right? So what you need is proper advice. Thank you very much. And if you I'm real estate advisor, so if you need anything to know more about these things, personal finance or anything related to real estate, and message me. Okay, so then I will arrange another session like this. And see you again with another topic. I'm Gamini. Have a wonderful day.